We're doing a show. We're gonna do a show. Hello and welcome to the show. Now Chris has to keep all that. Take that, Chris. This shouldn't be funny. It's not. As usual, this is A Star to Steer Her By. Hello and welcome. This week on A Star to Steer Her By, we're covering 2 TNG episodes.
What?
We've done that before, I think.
Once or twice.
Maybe.
Cool.
What are the episodes?
Well, I was going to introduce myself first, but I can
Jake.
Introduce the episodes.
You do what you want.
I was going to say this is Ames, and then this one was going to say...
This is Caitlin.
And then that one was going to say...
What are the episodes?
Fuck you!
Oh, Jake.
This is Chris.
That is Chris. And our guest star is back.
Again.
Hello,
somehow.
Pat.
Hi, it's Pat. Again.
It's Pat.
That's a great tagline. That's hilarious.
You know what? That's going to be my tag when it's my turn to do the outros. That's going to be our new catchphrase. It'll just be, it's Pat. No,
But
that's not true. I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not
Yeah, it won't always make sense.
It'll never make sense.
All right.
Well, unless I'm here again.
The young people don't understand what that shit is.
As Jake was alluding to, we're covering 2 TNG episodes.
Whoa.
They are Borg and the Next Phase. So it's...
And what episode of the show is this?
This is episode 116.
Woo!
Ow!
Divisible by shoe.
Shoe?
Fuck you.
I liked Hugh.
I mean, they talked about hardware, but did they talk about...
Software?
You're going to say that. Why? Why are you singing the Korbaniki?
Because you guys are talking about Dr. Mario
Tetris.
music, which I don't know, so...
You don't know Dr. Mario?
Not off the top of my head. It's been years. Anyway, Ames.
Anyway, let me synopsize these episodes. This is a week about helping our enemies when they get in fucking scrapes and then regretting it later because we're idiots. Giant fucking idiots. I was gonna say, if Chris needs a title for this week, I say, an enemy in need is a friend indeed. And I wrote that down because I thought of it. So Borg, we're tooling around in space. We come across a crashed Borg scout ship. And we realize, oh shit, there's a survivor down there. Let's go scope it out.
Oh shit.
The survivor is a Borg.
What?
And we run into the emotional crisis, the crisis of conscience of, do we let it die?
Yes.
Do we let the Borg? Wow. Borg.
I went a bit Swedish chef there for a minute.
Borg.
Borg.
I mean, Borg does sound like something you get at IKEA, doesn't it?
Yes, I have several of those.
Really?
It's a dresser, isn't it?
Do we let the Borg come back and find him, and then learn that we were here ourselves?
No.
Do we bring him on board our ship and save his life?
No, especially not that one.
Because and Jake made the great joke that once Worf said what that we should do, Picard did the opposite. Which
I
was
had that
amazing.
note as well.
Which was great. So Picard decides.
But Picard had the much more sinister plan in mind. Which is,
Yeah, so they decide, okay, what if we take this Borg, bring him on our ship, and download a virus into him that when he gets back with the rest of the Borg,
They all have to send chain letters to all their friends.
Yes, all these
Or they'll have
Nigerian
bad
princes have been
luck.
sending them emails, and so that it'll take down the entire collective when he's back on their network. And they're like, man, that's a great sinister idea that only Bev is opposed to. What the fuck is up with Bev this week?
What the fuck is wrong with you, Bev?
She has never had this conscience before when it comes to our enemies, but whatever.
You know what it is? We're revving her up to
That's
fucking
true. She loves
ghosts. That's what it
terrorists.
is. She's got to build up to that weird shit.
So while we have our Borg, he identifies
And we
himself
eat it too, by the way.
as third of 5 on our ship. Geordi is, trying to concoct this virus thing to upload into him and spending more and more time with him. And he's learning more about the Borg culture because, they're one big collective. And this guy is now out of the collective. They've shielded the whole ship so that he can't, communicate with them and they can't communicate with him so that they don't know he's here. Mm-hmm. And they've come to realize, man, this guy does not know how to, what to do without the rest of the Borg. He still considers himself a member of the Borg. He refers to himself only in third person, referring to himself as we. And it becomes very interesting as we learn more about what that is like. We come to find that he's incredibly lonely and that he doesn't quite understand that humans don't want to be assimilated. And he comes to learn that, oh man, Geordi and Bev and everybody else on the ship, they all have individual identities. Do I have a name? And they let him name himself. He names himself Hugh.
Well,
kind of by accident.
Geordi kind of names him Hugh.
He accidentally names himself Hugh because Geordi thought it was cool.
Hugh.
And then Hugh and Geordi just kind of become best friends because all of Geordi's bromances are better than any of his other relationships.
They all end tragically.
Yeah, I mean, Bokra, I'm sure, still writes. And Data, he sees most of the time. Yeah, so we learn, oh shit.
And Leah Brahms thought it was all just fucking hilarious after the fact, so...
Okay, so we're learning more about Hugh. Guinan is on board, and she's opposed to all of this because she's had, first-hand experience with the Borg. The Borg wiped out most of her people.
And because she didn't fucking wake up without a brain in her fucking head that day. Jesus. Go on.
I don't remember that day. But maybe that's because I didn't have a brain in my head. And she confronts Hugh. She goes fencing with Picard. They're all trying to figure out, all right, is any of this moral and right? Or are we actually, destroying the life of an individual to finish this war?
And if so, who cares?
It's a really difficult episode. It's got so many layers that it's very hard to discern like where the Borg ends and where the person begins.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
That's for later.
That's
Borg, let's get to the summary.
The Borg are like ogres.
Yeah, so Geordi realizes, fuck, I accidentally became friends with Hugh. I don't want to do this bad thing to him anymore. Plus, now he's talking in first person, which was very touching. He's saying I, and he likes me, and he doesn't want to assimilate us. What if we let him make the decision? And we say, okay, Hugh, what do you want to do? And he says, well, I want to stay with Geordi, because Geordi's my friend. But I also know if I do stay with Geordi, the rest of the Borg will come and assimilate Geordi, which Geordi doesn't want, so I guess I have to go home. And they let him go home, and Geordi has a sad. And that's the end. I think we see Hugh again one day, and so we'll see how it ends, because I don't know. So that'll be interesting. In the next phase, it's another Geordi episode. Geordi's gotten some good stuff to do.
Although he's not having a great week.
No, Geordi's having a tough
rough week there.
So we're hanging out with some Romulans. These Romulans have broken themselves. And
Yeah, all broken.
And they send a distress signal, and for some reason we decide to help them. We're fools! Fools, I tell you!
We learned nothing from last week's Good Samaritan
Yeah, I know.
ship.
If the Ferengi are on board, if the Romulans are nearby, never fucking trust them.
No.
So we go to the Romulan ship, we start fixing their shit. Geordi and Ro are out there doing a thing, when suddenly, when they try to transport her back to the Enterprise, their signatures don't come through. They don't make it back onto the Enterprise. The transporter operator, who is not O'Brien. O'Brien may have fixed this.
Never would have happened on the Chief's watch.
Says, no, I can't.
But she
I
was
can't,
the chief too.
The chief.
She was the chief.
She's a chief.
I can't get them here. Maybe they're back with you. And they're like, nope, they're not here either. Fuck, they're just gone. So Ro and Geordi are presumed dead. And some other stuff is happening. We're continuing to fix the Romulan ships and all this stuff. But all of a sudden we see Ro wandering around. And Ro comes to learn that no one on the Enterprise can see her. And she can walk through walls. And Picard can walk through her.
But she doesn't fall through the deck plating.
But she doesn't fall through the
My
deck
question
plating.
exactly.
She
Pat
can
actually did
sometimes
bring that
touch
up.
things.
Yeah.
It's a little inconsistent, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
So we start to realize, okay, are we ghosts? Because we meet up with Geordi, who's also in this weird scenario where he's not able to communicate with anybody else except Ro, which is great, because now at least he's got a buddy. Are we ghosts? Or are we still here and they just can't see us and there's a reason? And Geordi starts to figure out because, he's an engineer, he's smart. Oh,
Sometimes.
we're just out of phase. This Romulan device this out of phaser that they're building, and their cloaking technology had a weird science baby that made us, out of phase with the rest of the Enterprise. So they have no idea we're here, but we're here. And as we're scoping around, we hitch a ride over on a shuttle to the Romulan ship, while Data's talking about how much he misses Geordi, which is very sweet.
It was really sweet.
And we learn, because they can just spy on people now, and I'm sure they watched Riker masturbate 5 times.
You say that like it's a weird thing to do.
That the Romulans have rigged up some kind of device that's going to destroy the Enterprise when it goes to warp. And they're like, fuck! No one else on the Enterprise knows this except us, and we can't tell them. What do we do? So they go back on the Enterprise. Another Romulan officer who's also out of phase tries to attack Ro, and they fight for a while until they knock him out into space.
Yes, okay, so he did go into actual space.
Yes, they threw him, because you can walk through walls and shit, they threw him through the wall of the ship itself.
Through the transparent aluminum and such. It's
yes.
magical.
Geordi realizes, wherever we go, we're leaving a chronoton trail, and Data and whoever the woman they were talking to, I forget who it was, some other science person on the ship.
Wasn't that the chief?
Transporter chief again?
Oh, was it her?
Yeah,
Right.
I think so too.
They're trying to get rid of all these extra chronotons from the ship using anion waves, something.
They're trying to get rid of the gobbledygook with the who's what's it beam.
That's the one, yeah.
Generally, yes.
Oh yeah, that sounds right.
The zippity doo dah day.
Yes.
And as they're in the middle of their own funeral, which is some Tom Sawyer bullshit, the anion waves start to make them flicker into existence a little bit. So they keep fucking around until with their chronotons until let's keep upping the anion waves so that we can continue being visible. And finally, they're visible just long enough that Data and Picard are like, fuck, we're seeing ghosts. Oh no, wait, it's them. Let's actually save them. And so they manage to save them using this anion beam. They save the day just in time. They say, don't go to warp, you'll fucking blow up. Never trust Romulans.
Ever.
How many times do we have to tell you? Don't trust the Romulans. So they don't, and they live. And I'm sure they write the Romulans up. I don't know. The end.
The Romans were gone at that point.
They send a strongly worded letter to the Romulan consulate.
Is that what they did?
No.
That is what
Who
they
knows?
did. So lots to unpack in Borg.
Yeah.
Makeup looked great.
Yes.
Makeup did look good.
The brain
Beverly-
guy, the poor brain guy.
Green guy?
One of the Borgs had
yeah.
his brain hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
One of the fives. One of
Yeah.
the corpses.
Bev, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's my only question.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
did not understand Bev's fucking high horse. She's had a lot of high horses, as we said last week.
Well,
we
it's-
are talking about a genocide here.
but she wasn't objecting to the genocide, not originally. She was like, we should bring that Borg on board. And
because
in
she's
reality,
Doctor,
at that
he does
point,
no harm.
but she
Hippocratic oath.
wasn't doing any harm except to literally possibly everyone on the fucking
Here's
ship.
the thing, though.
We
Here's-
didn't know that he was capable of being an individual before she pulled him on board.
You know the
Therefore, they should have left him there to fucking die.
You know the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. Second, do harm to the entire species.
Oh, yeah.
Here's
the
the thing,
modified Federation Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, that's the Federation one.
The Hippocratic Oath.
He's alive.
If you
And-
can call a Borg alive.
There's
I
no
can't.
reason to assume that maybe, because she was able to de-assimilate Johnny, maybe she can de-assimilate this guy.
But she literally told him straight up, like, yeah, but if you remove that stuff, he'll die.
Well, yeah, they
But
worked
sh-
that out.
but-
and by then,
but-
the plan was happening.
I thought
they
that
also
he
worked
said
that
that
out with-
before.
Jean-Luc. See, before, it would have been the same. It's the
He
same
was
technology.
less dead.
Oh, well.
But I
Minor
thought he
details.
literally said.
He was only mostly dead.
I thought he said that before they even beamed him up that they wouldn't be able to help him, or was he saying it as they were towering over his unconscious horse?
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest. I'm just saying, she's a physician. It makes sense that she would object.
It's the same way with Jean-Luc and the Prime Directive. They apply it how it works for them. It's not, it's supposed to be all this hard and fast rule, but no.
I mean, I do feel like, though, it's sort of consistent with her. Like I said, we did have the terrorist episode where she was like, I'm going to help everybody regardless. Like, that has been fairly consistent with her. She's very...
Those were at least people.
And those people weren't at war with the Federation.
Yeah, but they had just tried to blow up a bunch of civilians.
Yeah, but that's much smaller.
I don't know.
This is much larger potatoes. The fucking
It's still-
Borg
I just
wipe out
know
every
it's
species
still-
they encounter
Yeah,
for
the next
their own...
the next time a Borg ship wipes out at a fucking planet, Bev is gonna feel it on her fucking soul.
And every time after that.
And
Sorry, Bev.
all the many times.
I mean, the scale is different, but I mean, her character, I think, in this regard, is consistent.
I mean,
What,
Just
when you
garbage?
say in this regard, do you mean she always makes bad choices and sucks?
Well, she's very much like a strict doctor.
I
you know?
have all the ethics. Don't
Yeah.
experiment on Worf. He'll kill himself anyway.
Yeah.
Bev. No, here's my thing. I think if Bev was going to get on her fucking high horse about the Borg thing, she had a much better motivation to say, no, we should save the Borg. So we can study it, maybe. How about that? That would be a great idea. We don't know a ton about the Borg. We only know from Locutus, and he's not Locutus anymore.
Yeah, and she maybe should have objected a bit more to the genocide thing.
No, she loves genocide.
Okay, but why would anyone object to a genocide on the Borg?
But it's still genocide.
But it's still genocide.
Yeah, but that's like killing all the Daleks. Does anybody feel bad about killing all the Daleks?
I mean...
Did that one episode called Dalek make you think maybe we should save the Daleks? No, because they're space Nazis, which is exactly what the fucking Borg are.
Well, that's what that.
Do
again,
I have
mean,
the
that's-
rights? Remember? They did a whole episode about it.
But here's
Are
the
we
other
still
thing.
talking about Doctor
But
Who?
he did have the right, because they're fucking Daleks and they're literally space Nazis.
But he didn't. I'm just saying, that people do...
But the
Well,
Borg-
that's
but the
because he's a little
Borg,
bitch,
right?
like Patrick
The
Stewart.
Borg are just doing what they do, though. I mean, they're not malicious. They're just doing what comes natural to them, which is assimilate and destroy.
So if, like, a pack of wolves were constantly attacking you, you wouldn't kill the wolves, you'd just put them in the zoo.
Well, would you kill all the wolves everywhere on the planet?
Yeah, that's...
because some of them were attacking you?
Well, all wolves will attack.
Or do you build yourself defenses against the wolves? I mean, now
There are no defenses against wolves.
Now
Borg.
that's interesting because there
Wolves.
is a very
Wolfborg.
we maybe
Wolf
talked about
dwarves.
this. Okay, never mind.
But...
As I say, because there's a pretty hot topic these days regarding the eradication of mosquitoes, where a lot of it's becoming a possibility that
I've never heard of
with
this.
genetic engineering techniques, it could potentially be possible in time to completely eradicate mosquitoes, or at least those that
Great,
carry
it's time.
disease.
Let's eradicate.
Mosquitoes
Is that
are
going
the
to
most
affect any
deadly
birds?
creature in the
That
world.
is that going to affect any birds?
Well,
and shit that eat
It
the
actually will
mosquitoes?
fuck up bats. more
That
than birds, I
sounds
think.
bad.
Well, so there's things though, right? That's part of the debate. Is like the only debate is will it fuck up other animals, and the jury's out because from what I understand, most of the things that do feed on mosquitoes do not exclusively feed on mosquitoes.
Okay,
But are mosquitoes a high enough percentage of their diet that they couldn't quickly enough adapt if mosquitoes died off?
I have a better question. Is anyone currently eating Borg? If no,
I
then
am.
there's
Oh, really?
no
No.
argument to getting rid of them.
I don't know them, but
Species 8472.
That's true. There is those guys.
We'll get to that in a couple of years.
a couple years.
Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me?
They don't eat them, but there is an opponent.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
They're baddies.
Yes.
They're not great.
No.
So then
Baddies.
what you're
Baddies
saying
eat
is...
mosquitoes.
but not
Yeah.
Borgs. See, that's what we should do. We should wipe out those guys and the Borg, and then there's all the baddies
So the
gone.
But then
genocide
double
begets better.
Double
genocide.
genocide, yeah. Genocide squared.
Double genocide on you.
Well, we can have the Borg genocide debate also in a few years because we'll get another opportunity to talk about it. But I think Jean-Luc, I'm kind of with Jean-Luc where he's like, yeah, fuck these guys. They're pretty horrible. We should get rid of them. They're not worth keeping around.
You can say that about most races.
Oh my.
Yeah. Like,
Ferengi.
Yeah, free. You're done.
Romulans.
Cardassians.
Yeah, the Romulans are assholes. I like the Cardassians.
Nope,
They can
they're gone
stay.
too.
All right, leave me Ducat at least.
Oh no.
Kevin wiped out that whole species that time.
The Husnock.
Yeah, the Husnock. Just out of existence. And they were like, that wasn't cool, man. So, what, now it's cool because they're not Kevin? Yeah. I mean...
Kevin!
I am uncomfortable with the idea of Borg genocide.
I'm not uncomfortable with it.
I mean, again, it
Are
still
you-
goes to
are you-
Prime Directive.
Are you still thinking of the Borg as people, though?
They are a living creature. They have living biological parts that are alive in some way. They are sentient. They are, as a collective, they are, as a whole unit, they are a sentient being.
Yeah, but they've taken over bodies of what used to be other beings.
Correct.
They're basically
They just have a weird way of reproduction.
okay. Yeah, I was
But
gonna
you're-
say yeah, like
but
they're
you're-
like a virus.
And but if you look at, like, the way Hugh describes even, like, to the drones at the very least, they're not doing anything bad. As far as they're concerned, they're making these people's lives better. It's like, come join the big crowd with the minds, and we can learn about you. You can learn about all the stuff we've learned.
You get this cool eye thing.
Yeah.
The eye looked great.
Like,
I love how smoothly it came off and then went back on again too. That was a nice change.
I need a blue one right now. I don't need a red eye. Let me swap this out. There's some parts here.
Yeah, they used the hologram and LED eye so that they were just doing the same trick they did with Locutus, which was nice.
But again, still, it's a collective. It's all one giant,
being,
and you think about again it just comes to genocide where you're still eliminating that, but would you do that with, like I said, with mosquitoes or some other? It doesn't matter. But especially the Borg are sentient. They think, they feel in a way as a collective.
All right, but we're also at war with them.
Yes, but would you?
They don't recognize that as a war because the Borg doesn't recognize what they're doing as warlike.
that's right. It's
They
almost
just
like
they just think, oh, you're going to be us now. That's it.
it's like how, I don't know, to use like a Marvel Comics analogy, whatever. Galactus is just a force in nature. He's not actually a bad guy. He just does what he does.
What does he do?
Eat planets.
Nice.
Yeah.
But also look at like the Federation. Do they have the death penalty anymore? No. What do you think about
Only
There's one.
Only if you go to Talos.
Yeah, that's it.
Talos 3, isn't it?
Possibly.
One of,
Or 4?
4? I want to say 4.
Anyway, yeah, Talos is one of them.
But again, at that point, there's no death penalty. So why would you kill someone? Again, being genocide. I mean, a war is different, but there's been no actual declaration of war, as is mentioned in the episode.
Yeah.
There is no actual declaration of war.
They did mow down like hundreds of fucking people.
Yeah.
Wolf 359?
359 or
More than that, it was like
the
hundreds
Borg?
of ships.
Yeah, the
You
Borg
know,
fucking
lot
killed a
of people.
shitload there.
Thousands of people.
Oh, it was a massacre.
They did give them a warning. They're not merciless.
No, they are merciless.
They are merciless.
If you ignore the warning.
No, they just said, the usual resistance. And
Well, yeah, they come, they say, join us, just join us, you're going to join us. And, like, that's fine. That's their thing. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's fair play. Because here's the thing. If the Borg come, as Guinan says, they will wipe out your race. Like, your race will be gone if the Borg show up.
Like, Guinan is one...
And they won't...
Elorian? Elorian?
Well...
Guinan's people?
Well,
they don't have a planet anymore.
It's claimed
There's just
that
a
she's
couple.
Elorian. I don't believe
There's just a
it.
couple of them, and they're bartenders everywhere.
Yes.
Because Elorian just means the listener. So...
But also, I mean, you got to think of how
that's
the Borg
not a
are...
real species.
What
name.
language?
Aura or aria.
So Latin or Greek.
Well, there's a Latin root. Yeah.
Something.
I'll show you a Latin root, eh?
But it's almost as if, the Borg are a religion. It's a cult. This is our belief. So do they get...
Yeah, but they forcibly...
I mean,
They're like missionaries that are assholes.
The way I think about it, it's like...
Yeah, but if they show up on an island where we've told them don't go and they get killed, it's fine.
Don't go to North Centalo. Never go!
The way I think of it was thinking of it by the end was like, it's like trying to wipe out an entire population that just think about it. Think about it just in any country in the world. We are, all of us, raised from birth to hate somebody.
Most people.
Who are you hating?
I mean, me, I try not to hate anybody, but I've been raised in a country that wants me to hate Muslims and the North Koreans and the communists and all this. So it's
and it's changed through history as well.
Yeah, who we're supposed to hate. So, I mean, you think of
Yeah, for example, Nazis aren't so bad nowadays.
Yeah.
Find people on both sides and all that.
So, like, a drone like Hugh, who I imagine was either born in one of those little Borg baby drawers.
Oh, maybe he was the Borg baby we met.
Or
That was
was
only 2 years ago.
Or was assimilated when he was super young and does not remember not being a Borg.
Well, none of the Borgs remember not being a Borg because they're not those people anymore.
But I mean, he probably, I feel like with Hugh, he probably hadn't had much life pre-Borg regardless.
I see absolutely no evidence.
Yeah, I don't think there's any evidence for that.
I think the only important thing is he is Borg, and anything like any other thing that he could be is unimportant.
Fair.
He's Borg.
Either way,
resistance is futile,
you're trying to
etc.
wipe out a bunch of drones whose only crime is being
No, you're not
raised
wiping.
in...
See, you're mistaken though, because you're not wiping out a bunch of drones. You're wiping out the Borg. The Borg is a singular entity.
Well, right, but I mean,
You're not like
it's still genocide.
It's well, yes, but the thing is, you're destroying the collective.
Yeah.
Which is not the same as killing lots of people.
But they're all gonna die.
They are not a they. It's an it. It's a one.
But
it will die.
All right,
But
it will die, but
still
that's
a sentient
fine.
being.
No.
And then that still is murder. Even if you say it is a single being, would be the same as if I took this bottle and smashed Chris's head till he was dead.
Well, I'd like to see
It's
that.
plastic.
Good
That'd
luck.
be really hard.
Yeah, he's got quite a hard head.
Okay, but you get the idea. It still is. It becomes murder. It's not.
I think that's okay. I'm cool with this murder.
Well, I agree,
I'm totally okay with it.
The murder of Chris via bottle?
Yes.
No, not that one.
Oh, I
But
missed
it's
it.
more-
I'm down with killing the Borgs.
I'm not.
I'm just going on record
I-
as saying if you know, and you know what, if I were an admiral and I read this mission report, I'd be a little ticked.
Yeah, really. You mean to tell me that you had a chance to wipe out the fucking Borg? And you were like,
your fifis
no,
got in the way."
it has feelings.
See, here's the other thing. Because we learn by making friends with Hugh, who is adorable,
He's great.
we learn that they might be, I'm going to say redeemable as a word I'm choosing. I'm not sure if it's the right word, but they might be redeemable. They might be able to be saved from the collective.
Exactly. The fact that
You can rehabilitate them.
the fact that it feels like there's if they like made a play like there's no hope once you're assimilated, that's it. Like, bleh. But just the fact that this one guy had this thing happen proves
Pretty
it's
quickly.
doable.
Over the course of,
Well,
a day and a half?
I
A
wonder
day,
if that
yeah.
wouldn't just happen. If they
it was
released the
2 days.
virus
No, it was more than that.
and it caused a massive systems failure in the Borg, would the drones just not disconnect and all become like Hugh? Maybe causing the systems failure would be the best thing for all the Borg.
Well,
Because
yeah,
they
but
could
then
find
they
their
would-
individuality.
Yeah, but they would all die of starvation and stuff.
Yeah, the
Like,
problem.
assuming that they were able to find their individuality and all that shit, like their ships don't have food, so
It's
and
got
they wouldn't
electricity. They
necessarily
only
know
need
how to.
electricity.
Yeah, that's true. They're
But-
with
But
their with their
but
equipment,
once
with their
they're people
parts.
again?
No, with their parts.
No.
The parts will
I
remain.
think it's just like the network goes down. Like they can't talk to each other
The
anymore.
problem becomes they're then putting it like a cult or where they're almost addicted to the collective, so to speak. When you think about someone who's coming off of being addicted to drugs, your brain goes into overload. Haywire. Holy shit, I'm by myself. I don't have the support I need to get through this point.
It's true. Cold turkey alcohol
and can kill you.
quitting can kill you.
Can kill you. So
That's
same
fair. That's
same
fine.
idea of that, where you're losing this entire support structure of the network.
that was literally keeping you alive.
Yeah,
the tricky part.
Yeah, no, it would kill them.
So riddle me this then. Why is it wrong?
Why is which one wrong?
Mystery.
The-
What's another word for mystery?
Why is it wrong? Even if we call it murder, even if we say we're murdering every single Borg, billions of them,
Probably trillions.
Why is that wrong? What? How? Like, I guess this is a more philosophical question. Why is that wrong?
Murder is bad.
because
Why?
it's still murder,
But
and
why?
based on the 24th century.
No, based on anything, though, but like
Beliefs.
from just a morals perspective, why is it bad?
Because we've been told that committing genocide is bad.
Why?
And because
You know,
committing murder
Well,
is bad.
I guess-
could it sometimes be good?
Dude, I'm down to kill the Borg. I'm fine with it. Yes, in that case it would be good, and the reason why it would be good, or at least acceptable, is because what the Borg do is they go into a place and they kill everyone that lives there, and it completely destroys their culture, the home planet, nothing that was there exists anymore.
Yeah, they move in and destroy the culture, displace it with their own.
They don't have culture. Just like white American
Look,
people.
being techno goths is a culture.
But they don't. They don't have
But
a
they
culture.
absorb
They
it all.
have nothing.
They absorb
don't
and
absorb it all.
assimilate.
But they don't tell anybody about it.
They don't contribute anything positive to the universe in any way.
According to our definitions, but by their definition, perhaps that is the most positive thing to assimilate.
So then that is
Right.
that is a pure
They-
Darwinistic approach. In which case, murder is not wrong.
It's true because survival of the fittest.
Right. If we're fit enough to defeat the Borg by destroying them, then we, by definition, are superior. But if they can do that to us,
And they do.
Then they're
they
superior.
have. They've killed shitloads
So-
of... Committed millions
so
of
you can't have it
genocides,
both
probably.
ways. You can't say murder is wrong, but it's a
It's cool that it's alright that the Borg do it, though. That's just what they're born to do.
because it's what they do. That's
It's a good quandary there.
the morality.
Yeah, but
Is it because humans have morality means that they are prevented from doing these things, or should
yes.
be?
two wrongs don't make a right.
Right. But
It's not a two wrongs but don't make right because one of them isn't a wrong. You're saying
'Cause it's
you're saying
2
what
million-
the Borg do is not wrong because it's in their nature.
Oh, I mean, it's still...
It's not wrong by their definition, but it's wrong by our definition. But because of Prime Directive and all, and don't interfere with other species, etc., and whatever... we believe this. We are not going to do this. Only
I don't
because we
think
believe
Prime Directive touches this.
My main thing is just like the fact that it feels like there's potential salvation for the members of the collective is what makes me queasy about it.
Okay, so if it was...
If we didn't make friends with Hugh, you'd be like, fucking kill this guy.
Well, now here's another possibility. Now, let's say you do find a way to free the Borg, so to speak, right? And rehabilitate them.
Yep.
trillions of them.
Trillions of
Yeah,
them. Well, let's even say just a small number. Let's just say one ship's worth.
Which is
That's
still
a lot of people.
people.
A lot of Borgs.
Yeah.
Now, you do that.
Yep.
Well...
Yeah, they're going to want to live somewhere.
They're going to want to live somewhere. Well, not only that, what if you don't do it? What if the Romulans do it? What if the Cardassians do it? What if somebody does it, and then they say, that's a pretty sick, I got myself a little army here. They got a fucking Borg army.
Well, not to
under
mention
their...
So wait.
Their tech is
Now we're
incredible.
supposed to genocide the Borg just to avoid the risk of the Romulans getting some soldiers?
Using them as
Well,
slave
no,
soldiers?
it's just more of a bonus if you wipe them out and you also take their technology off the table for forces of bad.
Yeah, I'm saying that there is nothing good that can come out of having the Borg be a thing.
Not be genocided.
Yeah, I don't know. Genocide's wrong.
I just love the Borg too much to genocide them.
I mean,
I'm
I do right now because they haven't overused them yet, but I'm going to change my
But
tune.
you know that time is coming soon.
I'm sure at some point, after their 30,000th appearance, I'll be like, I wish Picard had just killed them.
Yeah, well...
Why, which show do they show up a lot in? DS9?
Voyager.
Oh, Voyager?
What because one of the
Oh,
characters.
is that why you like it so much? Yeah, 7 of 9, right?
Oh, Voyager's wonderful.
And that was the
Thank
first
you.
time that I understood why 7 of 9 was called 7 of 9. I was like, yes, he is 3 of 5.
Yeah, because there were 5 of
So
them.
this is a naming convention. But does that mean that there are lots of 3 of 5s?
Probably.
Yeah, there's
Well,
other sub-designations.
Yeah,
and
because
stuff.
7 and 9 has like a really... She has
Long
like
name.
but
a Mexican name.
Also,
and
why did they not
just goes on and
understand
on.
names when fucking Picard had a
Mexican
name?
You ever hear like Mexican people, or I guess it's just Hispanic people in general, oftentimes the family names just pile up.
Oh,
So,
yes, because
you'll
it's
end
like
up
your...
with, like, a very long, full
because
name.
it's your mother's last name and your father's last name.
You're right.
And then
something
their
like
that.
mother's
And then I
last
think
name
it
and their
goes
father's
back,
last
like-
name.
And then a baptismal name and a very...
yeah, they're just very
Wow.
many names.
It leads to a lot of confusion, actually, in the Lone Realm, because we'll have international students who... Because even though you're right,
the Lone Realm.
their legal name is very
We say
long.
Lone Realm like it's some Wild West.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking,
I've
what is
spent
that?
so much time in the Lone Realm.
I was thinking it was like an area in Skyrim.
But,
In the Lone Realm. like,
the
what?
thing is, while we have a lot of international students, especially from South and Central America, who, again, yes, they have quite long names legally, but in their day-to-day, they go by, just... They have their first name, and then I'm not sure how it's chosen, but
they pick their favorite.
I know. But I'm sure
names.
there's a reasoning behind it. But
Whatever one they can make a better rhyme with.
But then the issue becomes they apply for the loan under the name they just go by, but it needs to be under their legal name, so they have to reapply for things. It's a nightmare.
And that's why it's so hard to get people registered to vote too.
This has been
Because how many
bore
boxes
our
are there to
listeners
put
to death
17
with
names into?
loan
There's only 2
information
boxes.
corner.
Oh, Hugh, though, reminded me.
Yes.
Hugh very quickly works out one of the main tenets of Vulcan logic:
What do you do?
the needs of the many.
Mm.
He goes, "You are many, I am one." It's like, fuck, dude.
No, but that's because
was
he was
very
that was
cute.
because he was lonely. That wasn't because of anything else.
But still, no. But he figured out, like, no, man.
And listen, I think my closing argument on this whole genocide debate is when motherfucking Guinan and Jean-Luc Picard are on the side of genocide.
They're allowed to be wrong. They're people.
Nope. No, not the two of them. Not together.
Also,
Not
they have a
combined.
certain bias.
Not combined.
Yeah, valid point.
Also, I
Kinda.
imagine if Hugh had stuck around, I just picture, like, some sort of, like, a weird... Him and Geordi sitting somewhere laughing, being friends, and Data just glaring at them from, like, the background, like...
Oh my god, I would love to see that show. But nobody answered me though. Why was he so confused by names when Picard was called Locutus? Why
I mean,
is
they
that?
have absorbed all knowledge and everything, and they should have, in theory...
Nope,
Again, he's
don't
also-
even care about all the knowledge.
But
Just
also-
don't understand why they don't get names when
Yeah,
the one big guy had
that's
a name.
a bit of a hole.
But also at that point, he was no longer connected to the collective. So
He
perhaps
knew them when he recognized him.
He
He
did
called
say
him
Locutus.
Locutus.
Yeah,
He
he did.
knew that
Valid
was his
point.
name.
Well, Locutus was specifically the mouthpiece. As Locutus
Well,
means
sure.
the one who speaks or whatever. it was.
But if they're a collective, how can they have someone in the collective who's also outside of the collective, which is his own individual thing, and how do they not understand that?
Because they're not meant to understand that, because they
They knew he was Locutus. Like,
I got
he knew
nothing.
he was Locutus. I'm just saying that bothered me.
I
As
don't
soon
think-
as he recognized him as Locutus, I mean, I was bothered by it to begin with. But then he was like, Locutus! And I was like, yeah, so you do understand names, you son
he
of a
knows
bitch.
that.
Well, he knows that
what
was a
Locutus is.
designation.
Yeah, he knew that Locutus was a Borg and that he was a guy that
because
he
that
knew.
Locutus was his designation in place of a 3 of 5, 5 of 5.
Yeah, but why was he the only one who had that?
because
if they
he was
don't understand.
because he was a very special Borg.
I know,
Just
but
like
they just
just
shouldn't.
like the Borg Queen was. She is the Queen.
I know I said that.
I know.
But I'm saying that that's just more proof that they understand what individual designation is.
They do, but they did
Yeah,
not
but
understand.
he treated that like his designation, not like his individuality.
Yes, it was never.
I don't know.
It was never like Geordi and Bev both never said our name is our designation. It's a very clear. It was implied, but it was never specifically said.
No, I'm pretty sure Beverly said we don't have designations, we have names.
Yes, but it was never specifically said. Our equivalent of a designation is a name.
No,
As
that's
descriptor.
literally what she said though. By saying we don't have designations, we have names. That is basically
Alright,
what she said.
this is a stupid semantic argument.
You're a stupid semantic argument.
Ah!
How dare you, sir?
Point is, his name is Hugh.
Hugh.
Yeah, good job, Jordy.
Hugh.
Fuck Hutus.
And it's also the same. It
I
was
mean,
also.
Riker wasn't around too much, so probably not.
Oh no.
Actually, I don't think Riker appeared in this episode.
Maybe not.
I don't think he was.
Was he busy in the
Oh,
holodeck?
did he go on the away mission?
I think he was on the initial away mission, and he was in some of the meetings.
Okay.
He was
yeah.
still
He didn't say
he was
much,
still
but he was
beating
there.
off after meeting the perfect mate, probably. In holodeck 4.
As well.
Oh, I had a thought. That someone needs to write some Guinan Hughes slash.
No.
Their scene together was so tense and hot.
No.
All right, well, you know,
No.
Wow,
if
you're
you-
into some
I mean,
weird
Ames,
shit.
why don't you just
Yes.
ask me? I'd be happy to write some hate
All right,
fuck between Locutus and
Caitlin, you're on it.
Hugh and Guinan.
They were both talking about how lonely they are because they don't have their people anymore.
But it always becomes a compatibility thing. So that's the problem with species. Different species.
Whatever.
Because-
He's probably got a dick in there somewhere.
I mean,
And he can attach one if not.
Yeah, he can use his fucking hand and mouth and pieces.
but
in his
also, like,
eyepiece.
Look
the
at.
eyepiece looked damn
There
good.
was a vagina
His
under that eyepiece.
His
if you
eyepiece, her brown eye.
But really, like, look at all the Borg. They're all humanoid, but they all look like humans.
Well, we
I've never
haven't-
seen
we
a Borg.
We haven't
yet.
seen all.
I would love to
the
see a
Borg.
Ferengi Borg.
A Ferengi Borg
They
or a
would be
Klingon
terrifying.
Borg or a any of the
I
other.
feel like at some point we see a Vulcan Borg, but I might be making this
I
up.
think you briefly see a Klingon Borg in First Contact.
Okay.
Okay, then that's okay. That
I mean, but the other question, yeah, I mean, where did Hugh come from? Was he the baby in the drawer, or was he assimilated? Could he have been a human?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
But I don't think that there's any way we would know based on like
No.
what we found out.
Well,
'Cause-
they can also Pulaski you. It sounds like pretty easily. So
what?
the old memory wipe.
Oh, the memory.
Yeah,
one.
well, that's the thing. Is it's the memories are just whoop, gone by. And
I actually, so that was the one thing was I thought the ending, I like was so flipped out by what was gonna happen. I was like, oh no. I was like, Geordi's on the fucking planet. They're gonna shoot him dead right in front of him because they're gonna know and they're not gonna wipe his fucking memory. They're just gonna think he's damaged and fucking shoot him right there.
I mean,
I
Old
was-
Yellerum.
Oh,
I mean, I-
God.
and-
He's my Borg. I'll do it. I saw Old Yeller so many times as a kid. Jesus.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah. I really
That
because,
explains some things.
well,
dude, have we talked about how Watership Down is my favorite movie?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. We
well,
have.
As I say, like
and I mean, it of course starts with security issues again as well. With the whole like when they you're in a
Security issues.
You're in a containment bubble. Fine, all contained, so no subspace, anything. Oh, he's looking for a port to plug into. But then they're like, oh, he needs to eat. Well, power he eats. Geordi plugs right into the power conduit. There's no air gap. He could, who knows, he could plug in and, I mean, you're good. It ends up not happening like that. But still, why don't you do a portable power sourse or something?
yeah.
Give him a gonk droid.
Yeah.
Oh,
franchise.
the poor gonk droid.
But, so, something like that. And then it's,
Just picturing the little gonking around the room, and he's like, "You will be assimilated." Gonk. whatever.
He wanted to assimilate so many people.
Resistance is futile.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
sad look in his face. Resistance is not futile?
Oh, his tiny mind.
I don't know. Anyway, by the end...
like Geordi and Hugh. Fucking tear to my eye.
I did love the scene though with Picard addressing him.
Yeah,
as
Picard
Yes,
playing
that was
Locutus.
super
that was
good.
well
I
done.
loved that. But yeah, I was definitely on like team #save Hugh by the end. But in the beginning, I was like,
So angry.
Bev, you
So angry.
fucking
His
asshole.
and Geordi's love were so pure.
That's the thing. I think it was because he's the only human-ish thing aside from Data that's ever liked Geordi, is that I felt bad for him.
I got a new rule for the Enterprise. Don't
Stop taking in strays.
Stop naming your fucking pets.
Well, don't stop naming your pet. Stop putting Geordi on projects where he's gonna fall in love with somebody. Because
So it's basically any project with any other humanoid.
fucking
then.
time.
He did say at one point,
Doesn't matter if it's a Borg or a hologram.
I guess I'm a nice guy at heart, and it was supposed to be sarcastic.
Or
It's
a
like, yeah,
dead
you are
lady's
a nice guy.
journal.
Yeah, a nice guy and the wearing fedoras.
We haven't gone to
type
that
of
one
way.
yet.
Oh.
Speaking of nice guy, and we don't have to jump ahead yet, but I want to say it now because I'm thinking of it.
Yes.
How excited was Geordi for a split second in last phase when he's like, "Oh my god, I am the only person in the universe Ro can interact with. I might get to touch a boob."
Oh no.
I don't think Geordi likes Ro.
I
if
think
she was
Geordi-
the only option, he'd learn to like
I
her.
think Geordi just desperately wants to get laid and doesn't care. Anyway,
would
sorry.
there-
I mean, he
Children
can
also
undress
get
anyone
phased?
with his visor, really.
Oh, they'll use protection. It's fine.
They can't eat. They'll die.
No, I was thinking that. And I was
Anyway.
like, that's what's actually, they will be dead.
They just need somebody just needs to phase some food for them.
They couldn't even figure out they were phased.
So yeah, but
I mean,
Borg.
The solution to the virus thing, it's a repeating puzzle thing, but then when he goes to be, I'm going to go home, why aren't they like, you know what? We know you're going to be reassimilated. Send this shit anyway. Send the virus anyway.
Well,
Why?
because I think they were under the consideration that it would actually kill them.
Yeah,
I think that's why.
Bad.
But you know what the
Yeah.
thing is, though? The reality is that I almost wish that they would have convinced themselves it was fine to send this thing. Because the Borg they get hip to every trick. So they would, like, 3 or 4 of them would have gone shoddy and then they would have just cut it off.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't have. That's the thing. It
always
would
shield
never
themselves.
have actually worked. One of them would have figured
I
it out almost
don't know,
immediately.
because if there's one thing that's true in Star Trek, you can kill any computer system
Any robot.
with a logical fallacy.
Yep.
That's
This
the
statement
reason.
is false.
That's the reason they stayed away from the Federation for so long. It's not that they didn't know they were there; it's that they knew about Kirk. He's killed so many computers.
They've gotten a little more sophisticated. Now we have to make impossible shapes.
Yeah.
But it's really the same thing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I will say that the new resolution that they came up with, they said, okay, we'll not infect them with this virus that will destroy their tiny little minds. We'll let Hugh
We'll
go
infect them with
and
individuality.
and see if his love is contagious, because love conquers all.
It's like the season finale of a Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I think that was Jean-Luc just trying to justify the decision.
And also,
Like he's prepping,
trying to get Beverly
he's
to put out,
prepping
let's
from
be
that
honest.
call from Bacheyev being like,
Now I really wish I could animate, because I would totally animate like a magical girl transformation sequence, but she just gets Borg parts.
I would love that.
Resistance is
Borg parts.
all right, anything else on Borgs?
The one other thing I wrote down about Borgs was that Jonathan Del Arco, who played Hugh, had auditioned for the role of Wesley.
Huh.
He didn't get it, as we should probably be aware.
No
Well,
wonder
that's true, but
Beverly likes him so much.
We can't
Her other
kill him.
child.
He's my child.
yak. Seriously, I'm getting to the point with Beverly where I'm like, can we have Wesley back? If we have to have a crusher on board, could we have Wesley back?
Can we resurrect Jack? I'm sure
No,
he's
don't
fine.
even resurrect him.
Zombie Jack.
Just Weekend at Bernie's him.
God.
No, you sure you don't?
Flopping his
you
corpse
sure,
around.
You sure you don't want him to be a zombie? He could be in an idol band.
It's funnier if he's getting Weekend at Bernie.
If Macaulay Culkin is fucking playing him like a giant life-sized marionette to rocking around the Christmas tree. There we go. There's a relevant seasonal reference for you.
Except this isn't going up till like January or February.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's
well.
always a good time for Home Alone.
That is true. That is true.
Home
We
Alone.
also saw some great fencing, and I loved how Whoopi fucking owned Picard. At
Yes, that was so good. She was like, "See, you felt bad for me. Where'd that get you?" And I feel like the
Right
bitch
in the
was
heart.
implicit. Pretty sure. That,
right in his fake artificial heart.
Yeah.
he really is already more Borg than man. He's more Borg now than man. It's cool. I know it's the wrong franchise, but I don't care.
And then I already brought up Gonk droids. It's fine.
I love gonk droids. Sorry. Stop talking about gonk droids. It makes me excited. Not sexually.
Oh, my.
Not sexually.
Oh.
No. Unless
I
I
mean,
was
you are
using,
dressed as a droid today.
If I
That's
was
just a happy coincidence.
if I was powering a gonk droid or using a gonk droid to power my vibrators, I might become a little more excited by gonk droids.
Phase?
Next phase.
Oh, the next phase.
You know, the original story had Troy instead of Ro.
Oh,
that would've been
thank
a
God for the
disaster.
rewrite.
Yeah, but they decided we've been kind of Troy heavy lately.
Yeah, we haven't got a
By
lot
which
of Ro
we
stuff.
mean
And
there's been
everybody
one
likes
episode recently with Troy.
Ro better than Troy.
Though it does explain why she got kind of, I don't know, verklempt, I guess.
Who, Ro?
Yeah.
Verklempt?
Just getting all kinds of, like, sentimental and stuff. That did feel a little weird.
She thought she was a ghost.
That's true.
She really wanted to be a ghost.
She did.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would expect Troy to believe some stupid bullshit about ghosts like that. Not so
Like a
much
blind
Ro.
ghost with clothes?
I love that.
I like how pissed off he was about the idea that, like, wait. So there's an afterlife, but I'm still blind? Fuck you, God.
And I'm still in these
clothes.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
he's still
yeah.
close.
Yeah,
There's
in my heaven, I would be naked with Leia.
There's no
And
clothes
it would
I
be
can change
huge.
into. This
would
was
be
their one.
huge?
This was their one
Leia?
change of clothes.
Why not both?
His visor.
Yeah, blind. That was good.
What the fuck were they breathing?
Phase
Phased
air.
Fair.
Lilith
Yeah,
Fair.
I mean, we should just get this out of the way. I think we all can acknowledge that
Some of the science don't make
the
sense.
physics of the situation.
Yeah, there was a
don't
lot
really
of
work.
inconsistencies.
And I
They
think we
could
just
walk
have
on the
to-
floor. They could sometimes touch
Well,
the desk.
so the floor,
I'm sorry,
the
who
floor-
expects
I
science in
have
Star Trek
a,
to make sense?
I
You have
have
a- you have a floor
I have
theory?
a floor theory. My floor theory is that because we know that the decks have to have some sort of anti-gravity, or I guess pro-gravity plating properties in order so people don't float around in space. So perhaps even in phased form, they are still under the influence of that gravity, so they stop at the floor where the gravity plating
Yeah,
is.
I'll buy it.
Well, reasonable.
But it doesn't explain why that Romulan was able to sit in a chair and Ro was able to touch a chair and the console,
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
at some
and that
point
they
you just
weren't
kind
suffocating.
of manage control over it somehow.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of phase force you have to put to actually penetrate a wall or a doorway or a something. But again, they still didn't. There was no point they went through a floor. It was always we're going to take a lift. Always going to take a turbo lift or something.
Now, here's a question, though. What would have happened if they walked through the door of the lift while it was on another stop? Would they have fallen to their
The
death?
greatest high they ever had.
Or would they have fallen through the ship and out the bottom?
Here's a better question. So somewhere, I didn't realize until the end that it had been 2 days that they'd been stuck in
Yeah,
phase
that
form,
was
'cause
not
they
clear
didn't-
until he said
it
it.
wasn't clear what time had passed, which means they haven't been able to like use the toilet.
Somewhere there's
No
a phased
water,
poop.
There's phased poop on the ship.
Yeah.
That no
during-
one will ever
no,
know
no,
about.
During one of their sweeps with the thing, somebody was just there. It's like, what the? Where'd that come from?
That should be what they
Someone
did.
didn't
They
curve
just
their Geordie.
Stunk up 10 forward, so when they turn the thing on, everyone will be like, oh, what's that smell? That's horrible.
I mean, like they said at the beginning of the end scene where, you haven't eaten in 2 days, but also no water in 2 days. I mean, you're going to be pretty sick at that point. You think about you're running through the ship, running around, because you
Battling a Romulan
running
guy.
a Romulan. I mean, you're going to be pretty dehydrated after 2 days. Generally, 3 days and you're dead with no water. So,
They've been drinking their pee.
That's why they haven't need.
possible.
That's why they didn't need to use the facilities.
But
Maybe
That's
something
so
about
gross,
their
but they probably are.
phased state altered some hoodly do.
Also, we don't know how often Bajorans need water.
That's true.
They might not even need water.
Also, though, since we know there's 2 days, there's a lot of time unaccounted for.
Lots of banging.
No, I was about to say, lots of Geordie peeping.
Oh,
Yeah,
more,
that's
there
more
was
than
true.
certainly.
That's-
Plenty
well,
of
and
running
it's-
through places, the guy
Yeah, I was
doing
gonna
push-ups
say,
in the showers and the...
We did get that. We did get that little foreshadowing of that with the girl in the towel. You know that
Yeah,
Geordie was,
Yeah.
which means there's also lots of phased jizz somewhere.
I mean, it's bad enough with normal Geordie, a visor, and he can, peep through anything, really.
Yeah.
But he never looks through your cards. No, wait, is that Data?
No,
Data
that's-
never
that's-
looks.
No,
through
that was Geordie.
I would just be
He
afraid if I
swears.
was in their situation that the effect would just suddenly wear off and I would rematerialize, like in a bulkhead
Mid-fap.
somewhere,
Yeah.
Naked.
naked.
Well, that was where I don't think I've seen this episode in I don't know how many years. It was like, wait, but how do they not, whenever they're phasing back in, if it's, what happens if they phase in the middle of a bulkhead, when they're magically anion beams or it's like, oh, do I just stick here? Am I just literally stuck in the middle of it?
Then
That's
you're
like when that
actually
woman
dead.
fell through the floor in that one episode and was killed.
Oh
as
god,
well.
it was awful.
Yeah.
But how do they stay in their clothes whilst phasing? Has anybody asked
clothes
that
are
yet?
Those were phased. Well, same as the disruptor
Oh,
was
just like the
phased.
gun.
Yeah, the
Because it
Romulan
was
disruptor.
touching him, sort of
Yeah,
phased
right.
thing. It's
Yeah.
Oh, so
right.
somewhere also that
I don't know.
that Romulan warp core, whatever the fuck it was that they were beaming back with, that must be somewhere on the Enterprise phased.
yes.
Oh, I forgot they were being back with something.
Yeah, they have
But also they think about Ro and Geordi transported back to different places on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems
And they're in the same, theory that contain, even if it's phasing something, should have kept them in remotely the same place at least.
probably in the transporter room.
Really should have
Even
been.
one would
really.
think, right?
Considering how
Well, we don't-
random it was and the size of space, they're lucky they both woke up in the
in
ship.
the ship.
Yes.
Well, we also don't know. We don't know if Geordi maybe because we only saw Ro wake up.
Yeah.
Geordi could have woken up just like on the other side of the wall from her.
Well, yeah, because
Possible.
he said he was. I think he said he was in the
Oh,
Arboretum
Arboretum. So she
Right.
could have
with
been
a
next
splitting
to the, she could have been
headache.
next to the
Yeah, no,
Arboretum.
she could have been.
So what was it? But she was near sickbay.
Yes.
So on the blueprints, how close are those two?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, Jake.
Come on.
You
No.
know.
I'm gonna look it up right now. They're back there somewhere.
The reason
This is-
Geordi woke up with a splitting headache was because Keiko was working in the Arboretum at the time and she
And
was
sing-
nagging.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say singing.
Oh, no!
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I was.
Well,
I just.
you didn't like this one?
I didn't hate it.
I thought the ideas were great.
I did too.
The
I
ideas
thought
were really
ideas
great.
were good.
Geordi and Ro were good. Data was cute. Data planning Geordi's funeral was fucking adorable.
That was really
Wonderful.
nice, and I actually like what he came up with too.
It was nice.
felt
I would love
very-
to have that funeral. I wouldn't be able to enjoy it, but
Well,
I don't enjoy much anyway. So.
What? What?
and of course, Riker walks right in and, here happens to be a trombone. Let's play, as always.
Always playing with
Whose
his
trombone is this? Mine.
Mine
or
now.
yours?
We also like the idea that Riker had some big emotive speech to
Yeah.
give about Ro.
Yeah, what was he gonna say
Oh, no,
about
he-
Ro?
he
It was
was-
really hot that time.
well,
we boned
yeah, he
down.
banged
We
one
didn't
time.
know who
He was
each other
he was
was.
going to show everybody a picture of her vagina that he drew from memory.
Oh.
Why?
Fair enough.
Because he's Riker.
Okay, but is it a good drawing or does it look like the stick figure equivalent
That
of
man-
his
It's
vagina?
worse.
That man never forgets a vagina.
I mean,
I don't think that's true. I think he forgets vaginas. And
Oh, no,
and he
he-
always forgets the name.
I was say he forgets names, but he never forgets a vagina.
Well, that's disgusting and unfortunate for him.
Oh.
I've seen some bad
But-
vagina in my life. Okay.
but again, also Bajorans. I mean, how much is that something special compared to a human? You never know.
The vagina?
Yeah, you don't know.
Well,
I
they've
mean,
got
it's-
one of those weird earrings on it for starters.
Is it ribbed like their noses?
Oh, on the inside
Mm.
Well then.
Wowzers.
for his pleasure.
Speaking of the Bajorans, they were talking about the
Bajoran's vagina. It sounds a lot the same. I'm sorry.
Another word for ribbed is serrated. So
Oh no!
No,
Oh
that
yeah,
would be Klingon, not
the
not
2-hour death chance.
yeah. She was like, "Oh, not the death chant." I like to think the minute she got back to her quarters after being alive, she amended her will to be like,
No death.
No
chance.
death chance.
Death
More
chance.
trombone. Now, I also thought to myself, man, if they have to do 2 hours worth of Bajoran death chants whenever somebody dies, then all the casualties from the Cardassian War are still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funeral will be over in about 4.7 light years, approximately.
A light year is a
That's
measurement of
distance.
distance.
Shh. That's how long it's going to be.
you
Don't
want
worry
a
about
parsec.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. How big is a parsec? How many light years in a parsec?
I think it's not, there is. I think a parsec is bigger than a light year.
I forget.
So
Yeah, they were very lucky that when they went over to the Romulan ship, they had a ride back in time, and also that the Romulans that were discussing their evil plan summed it up so concisely when they were there.
I was
And,
thinking about
what
Romulans.
shitheads the Romulans are, man.
The
You know, it
worst.
wasn't.
They're so back now, guys.
Romulans
They're
got
back.
it
like
wrong.
really, like
You-
I know you were weirded out that they even bothered to stop and help, but to me that makes sense. I brought up that the Enterprise C was saving a Klingon ship,
Yeah, and that
and it led to
helped
peace.
finalize. Yeah,
Yeah, and it
So
killed
you know, I
Tasha
think
Yar.
Picard probably had the
Well, she
same,
deserved it.
maybe the same
Probably.
thought, but it turns out that the Romulans are just shittier.
yeah. No, they are impossible to deal with.
they're
I love them. They're
Um,
such pricks.
At least the Klingons have the honor. The
Romulans
are
have
more
no
slimy.
honor.
No.
No.
If
No.
one was dying, I wouldn't even give him my blood.
That was a good episode.
Worf is actually seems to have softened because he was not all that pissed off about
Yeah,
helping
he
the
did not
Romulans.
object as much as one would expect. Although that does bring to mind one question I had. The thing that to me made the least sense of anything in this episode.
No death scream?
No, not that.
Oh.
Why the fuck are they carting around 30, 40-year-old computers?
It's in their history ward.
They just replicate something. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
Like,
good
maybe
idea.
it's just something that they if they have the plans.
Yeah, if they have the plans.
they could
Here's an Apple Macintosh 2.
Oh. We've
Okay, but can you play Carmen Sandiego on it?
Fuck yes.
Okay, well in that case,
No,
that's great.
But we only have the disc for Oregon Trail.
That's
Ooh,
fine.
I'll play
Oregon
that.
Trail's great. Oh my god, speaking of Oregon Trail, guys, they make a handheld that's exactly like the old game that you played on a computer, but it's a little fucking handheld.
Why wouldn't you just play it on the computer?
Because I don't have an old ass computer to play
Yeah,
it
but
on.
I'm sure you can get it
No,
from
no.
the computer.
No.
No.
It's got to be played on the green Apple screen.
My computer screen can turn green. It
I
has many colors.
I love the idea of introducing Star Trek aliens to the Oregon Trail. I don't know why. It just amused me.
What is dysentery?
Captain, this is most illogical.
We don't have dysentery. We have names.
You died of Ponfar.
Ooh. Well, if they hadn't gotten him back home in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dysentery sounds like some Klingon dish or something.
Oof.
It's like
Fresh gach.
But yeah, I don't know. I actually like this episode a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun
Great
episode.
episode.
It doesn't exactly lead to.
It's very clever too.
Yeah.
Like the thought of being like they know they got the Romulan cloaking device, and they probably thought like, what if that were a people?
I also enjoyed the scene where Geordi just kept putting his hand through the
Yeah,
table.
come
and
on,
Data was
Data.
just like, what? Because he can't get annoyed.
Aww.
So he's just like, meh.
Data is the best friend a dead man could have.
But also the Romulan cloaking device. I can pose the question while we're watching the episode. Like the Romulans and Klingons have cloaking devices.
Yep.
Federation had one at some point very early on.
Well, yeah, they
Briefly.
definitely had
But
one in TOS.
Why didn't they continue using it?
Treaty of Valgeron.
Yeah, there's a treaty that says that they cannot have cloaking technology.
Shut the fuck. Is that true?
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
But it's really, really easy to violate.
It is
But
the
why is-
world's stupidest move.
It really is.
It really gives the Federation a permanent tactical disadvantage.
Because they're the only ones who are going to follow it. Everyone else is just going to break the
Well,
treaty.
no, and the thing is, everybody else can still have it. It's not again. It's only the treaty only says that the Federation,
Why the fuck would they
Can't do
sign
it.
such a thing?
because they fucked up.
Because they were being offered the perfect mate, and they were like,
You know what it is? It's just Federation
Let me get a
hubris.
look. Let me
It's
get a
like,
look at those trade agreements.
Look. We don't need cloaking devices, you schmucks. We always win.
I think
Yeah, just hold my beer for a minute here.
I think I addressed in the article I wrote a long time ago about the evil admirals. I think I talked about this.
I believe I addressed this in my
If
early
you
publication.
refer to the Journal of Scientific Nerdery, and
Damn it, why did they call the Tumblr that? The SSHB,
Encyclopedia Nerdtanica.
The SSHB Journal of... What did you say?
scientific nerdery.
nerd,
There we go.
scientific nerdery. So yeah, I don't know. I think it sounds like we all pretty much liked the episodes this week for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, there was more to discuss with the first one. The second one was just sort of a
A good,
a romp.
A good story.
Yeah.
good fun.
But it's
time.
not
Sorry, I
as,
didn't mean to just play footsie. I'm just...
not as thought-provoking
didn't.
as Borg genocide.
Well, with you, Ames, always.
Genocide. All right. Well, I think we'll call it then because we have more to do tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Next week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Next week on our Star to Steer Her By Star Trek show. So that's it for this week, folks. Next time on our show, A Star to Steer Her By, we're going to talk about 3 episodes.
I object, table flip! Woo!
No!
Whoa!
Well, one and then another
it's a
one.
two-parter. But it's going to be a busy week next week. I'm telling you this,
It's
boys.
going to be another 2-hour episode. Strap in.
we got some big swinging dick of episodes in this coming up. We got
My favorite kind of episode.
well, we got the inner light. Often regarded as the finest episode of any Star Trek.
Don't spoil it.
Inner light, I hardly know her light.
So we're very looking forward to that, as I know you are as well. Followed by Time's Arrow, Part 1 and 2.
Isn't Inner Light a fucking soap opera?
No, that's Guiding Light.
Same thing.
Time's
Days of Our
Arrow,
Lives.
widely
Nope, all my children.
widely
Ames's least
regarded
favorite soap
as
opera.
the episode with
The
Mark
most
Twain
arrows.
in it.
My grandmother watched All My Children.
Mine did
those are
too.
two
Yeah,
episodes
so I've seen a lot of
that are
it.
coming
Me too.
up in the next week
And
of our show.
That's
And
also the season 5 wrap.
and we'll be
Oh,
doing
yes.
a season 5 wrap.
Oh, I
So-
gotta think of my tops and bottoms.
So we're gonna have some good
I gotta
tops,
think
bottoms,
of my tops and
ins and
Caitlin's
outs. You know how it goes, folks. You know how it is.
Well.
But until then, I implore you, please follow our social thing on Star Trek Facebook.
.com /
On Facebook. slash
.org.
Star to steer her
Facebook.com.
by. Search that one. Search it up. You can also get our Twitter, which we don't really use, on
Do
twitter.com.
we even post the episodes on Twitter?
I remember.
We should get, I think I've said this before, we should get instant thing.
Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah, because we make so much content.
Because the kids use that one.
Yeah, the
You
kids
Snapchat
are...
it.
We'll just keep putting up photos of the microphone.
Same picture of O'Brien every day, like that Facebook page.
No, we could put a picture of ourselves, our butts.
Don't put pictures of
Gone to
us
a weird place.
of us up. Nobody's gonna fucking want to watch that.
So we'll be on those, also on Tumblr, SSHB Podcast, and the website, which is sshbpodcast.com. And you can download our pod thing on
Pod thing.
Shuttlepod?
Apple Tunes, and on Google,
Good Googles.
and on any other podcast show, machine, website page, app. And, as always, you can download and listen to our show on soundcloud.com. Star to see her by. That's us. Our name. Don't wear it out. So that's about it. And if you do any of those things, make sure to write in. Tell us what you got for Christmas. If you got a good cake or a good pie or just
This is going up so far after Christmas.
Wait a minute.
Tell us what you got
and
for
pie for Christmas because I didn't get shit.
Tell us what you got for Martin Luther King Day. I don't know when this is going to air.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah, Valentine's Day. Anything good
Too
for that
early
one?
for Valentine's
Is it?
Day.
Okay.
Yeah, make it close.
All right. Well, tell us what you thought of the first few episodes of Discovery.
Oh, there you go. Definitely on time for that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Because we're looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to Anson Mount.
I'm looking forward to mounting somebody
You're gonna
too.
mount an ensign?
So,
Anson. New Pike, he's hot.
Oh, that's right. You do.
oh,
jeez.
it's a crash! Fuck!
No.
Okay, that's it. That's the signal. My name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
We are Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
Oh, and Pat. Okay.
All right, we're done.
All right.
Woo!
Hasta la vista, baby.
Are you destroying that placemat?
It fell off.
To be fair,
Fell off after I tugged on it for 10 minutes.
Well, that's why you're not supposed to tug on it like that.
But after only 10 minutes? Come on.
Yeah, seriously.
You must have been in rough shape.
It's held together by
Wow.
something. I don't know what. To be fair, Ames, he's been destroying that thing steadily since we started this podcast.
I mean, look at mine compared to all the others.
Yeah.
I do switch them out every so often.
Well,
Somehow I
stop
still
and just
end
let
up
him
with-
destroy
Wait,
that
one over
one.
there looks a bit worse than this one even.
Don't give him another one. Let him fucking destroy
You just
that
get
one
different
first.
ones. These
I
ones-
like these placemats.
Yeah.
So does Jake.
Lost.
He
They are
likes
fun to
fucking
play
tearing them to
with, but
pieces.
they're weird.
They're great to play with, but as placemats, they suck.
All right.
Actually,
well,
in a way, they do, because liquid gets right through those slats.
Yeah, there's one that I had a candle blow up
it's
once.
this one.
Yeah, that the wax does not come off.
Kind of just looks like Jake cummed on it. Came on it.
Cummed
not
on it?
cummed.
I mean,
Cummed on it.
Sure? Hold on, wait. Is Jordy around here somewhere out of
Oh
phase?
my.
Oh,
No.
no, that would still be phased.
So much phase jizz.